Hi all. I am Roland and I am the extreme digital nomad. I write code, always and everywhere. Welcome to Ep.4 of the Augmented Software Engineering Podcast. Please read the blog post that is in the description to understand what this is all about. In the last episode, we talked about what kind of assistance we are looking for as augmented software engineers. In this episode, we will discuss the importance of the context. Let's get started. I got news for you. Context is king. Right now, we all experiment with various tools and models to create the optimal experience for us as augmented software engineers. We try to find the right combination of models, integrations, and IDEs for a given language that will give us the biggest productivity gains. Especially, there is a focus on the models, and the claim is that some models create better code than others. And that is probably true. At the same time, I would caution that this might only be true for a subset of languages, means one model might be better than another model generating Python code, but might be worse generating COBOL code. Means the answer to the question, if one model is better than another one is, it depends, namely on the language you're using. In any case, my experience is that the differences in code quality that you get from different models is marginal, compared to the differences in quality you are getting from setting up the right context. The context or context window is the list of pointers and hints and assets the LLM will take into consideration when it responds to a prompt. Getting that context right makes a much bigger difference than the difference between the models. Means, if you are not happy with the quality of your responses, I would first suggest to improve the quality and quantity of your context before I would switch from one model to the next. Given that context management is important, you want to make sure that the integration into the IDE supports shaping the context window, both from a content and size point of view. That means it must be very easy to add and remove assets and scope from the context window. Please note that not too surprisingly, in some cases, you can improve the quality of the responses by remove assets from the context window or replace them with other assets. Please also note that the chat history is part of the context window for a given chat session. Means it is much more effective to have different chat sessions for discussing the problem, talking about the language and other topics. So one thing you want to understand is, what is the size of your context window? First, let's understand that the size of the context window is not measured in bytes, characters, or words, but tokens. A word might be 1 token or 3. These days, on average, a token has 4 characters and represents 75% of a word. Second, the integrations support different context window sizes. Famously, SuperMaven supports a context window of 1 million tokens. Also, famously, lots of people have pointed out that GitHub Copilot only supports a context of 8K tokens. The release notes of the latest release date that this was increased, but not by how much. For smaller code bases or for problems that are well understood with lots of public solutions, 8K might be totally sufficient. But for larger code bases or for problems that need a lot of hints to understand them, a bigger context can make a big difference. Given that context management is important, you probably want to look for shortcuts and help to get it right. Luckily, most IDEs and most integrations support various ways to shape the context. You can include the entire code base or parts of it or just what is currently selected or links to other resources on the internet. Note that some IDEs and integrations are better than others, including these resources and assets. For example, some can read PDF files better than others, and some can draw links better than others. In any case, managing the context is an art that needs to be supported by the tooling stack that you're using. This is it for today. The main takeaway is that context is king and that you probably want to spend some time to learn how to manage the size and the quality of your context windows. In the next episode, we will take a quick look at the stacks that we can use and want to use before we go back to some hands-on problem solving. See you in the next episode, and please like and subscribe.